The Super Bowl is back in play for the Jaguars after beating the Raiders. If they beat the Chiefs next week,
we're going to go stupid.
Yeah. The Dunn and Drew's YouTube channel about to be popping off once again. Stick with us through these Jaguars trials and tribulations. What a game. What a tailgate. It was just a great game all around. Best tailgate that we've had in years. Best game day experience since, obviously, the Colts game when it was just a party the whole game. But this game, so many Raiders fans in the stands, and nothing is better than when you have fans talking shit, and the amount of shit they were talking was so much because they went up so much. So they were saying everything, and nothing. We couldn't do anything. They were beating our ass. Couldn't say anything back.
I was just giving silent fist bumps because I had Adams in fantasy, but he was cooking our ass first half.
Yes, he was.
I was trying to tell them behind me. I was yelling at them, go to my Twitter, look at my pinned tweet. I said this was going to happen, and they weren't hearing it. They were just like, I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to you. But I was on your side. You know, I was trying to make myself feel better about the situation, but they weren't hearing it from me. But in the end, the Jags, usually we're on the other side of the scenario like this, at least for
that was
season.
My prediction.
Yeah.
Like if from our prediction video. Did I upload that?
No, we didn't.
Sorry.
Sorry, YouTube.
Our podcast.
But usually we're up and we lose the lead and then have to fight to get it back and then lose it again. This time, boy, we down 3 scores. Andy was trying to rally our group to leave at halftime.
That would have been the biggest L of my life. Because I had a couple on board. They were cool to leave. And we know this. We know the drill. The Jags don't come back from that ever. So I was trying to beat the traffic, which was ass at the end.
Oh, it was terrible.
We never play close games, so we're not used to the traffic patterns. We don't know how to leave a stadium when it's backed up. I am so glad. So we came with a Raiders fan, who's one of our best friends, and I knew that if I tried to leave when his team was up on me, he was not going to let me leave. So that was the case. And I'm glad he didn't let me leave. He ended up leaving early.
He left fourth quarter. I didn't even realize it until I turned around and we were up. And I was like, where the fuck Tyler go? He Irish goodbye the football game. And that's not like him. But
and then we found him listening to Logic in the parking lot.
Yeah, the Suicide song.
We got back to the parking lot. He's leaned up against our car and he's playing the Suicide Hotline song by Logic. And I didn't feel bad. We needed this win desperately.
He kept yelling at us like, I know my team. This happens. I knew this was coming. You should have listened to me. We are the same team. We do that shit too.
And I was telling him that one of us will be wrong, but I'm glad it was me.
I did not see the scenario where we beat the Raiders. That's wild.
We were winless in October, and
this is a terrible October.
I needed this bad because the way we tailgated, hopefully you guys saw. If you didn't see, content's up there. Dunn and Drew Instagram, Dunn and Drew Twitter, Eric V. Dunn Instagram and Twitter. We won the
Andy
tailgate.
Willis Instagram and Twitter.
You posted?
On Twitter.
We won the tailgate by a mile. Like if we didn't go into the game, I would have said we won the day. Not seeing a snap. But we had to go in. That's what we do. The worst part about this, I'd say, experience on game day is that we brought, I want to say 8 guys to this, like a lot of them from out of town, a lot of them fans of different teams. You know, we had a Bills fan with us, a Dolphins fan with us,
Raiders
fan with us,
Eagles, Steelers.
Fans from every other team around the NFL, yet they're sitting behind us in the stands rooting for the Jags with us because we got that influence like that, baby. For a team like this, we can do that. I love that shit. But back to my point, you bought a nosebleed seat, right?
Yes.
We all bought nosebleed seats for under $40. You too, Jack? Yes, under $40, and we ended up filling a row that was completely empty in the end zone. And it looked like
is not.
From our vantage point, it looked like there weren't any other rows really where we could have sat our party. But it just happened that the section that we usually go when we had season tickets, it was open there. So you couldn't do that in any other stadium in the NFL.
Yeah, we're watching Sunday Night Football at Arrowhead. I was like, there are not 2 seats that are open next to each other.
Right.
And we had 9.
Don't agree.
9 seats open for Jags Raiders.
We could have got 9 seats together in any section of the stadium, which is fine. I mean, who's going to go there support when the sun is out, 85 degrees in November? I'm not.
Raiders are also a bad team. So.
Well, they still brought a lot of
matchup,
fans.
Right.
A ton of fans.
They brought a bunch of fans. Yeah. And some of the guys that came with us were saying when they flew in, a lot of their plane had Raiders fans on them. So I knew.
Now I'm wondering why. Why did you travel so well for a 2-6 team? My theory was that it's so expensive to watch a game in Allegiant.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you said, well, the plane ticket that they would spend to come here would kind of wash that out. Well, so that's a good point.
I think half of that is not just the football team. It's that you're coming to Florida.
Right.
So you have to make a weekend out of it.
But they're either from Cali or Vegas.
Some people coming from Chicago.
Is Jacksonville better?
Fans are all over. You know that. Jags fans are in every state, basically.
So maybe like we got the Raiders fans from like Southeast.
Anyway, even if you live in Cali, Cali's got a lot of cold ass cities too. I know they get good weather, but the Bay Area where the Niners are, it's always cold there. So coming to Florida, we had a hot ass game. It's probably not that hot in California right now, but when you come to Florida in November, we still hitting 80s, 70s, and we're sweating our ass off. And we had a couple little rainstorms too, but didn't faze me.
Oh, that was amazing.
After my Philly game, rain like that not fazing me ever. But it was just funny seeing people scatter like it was about to start downpouring. I was like, no, this is about to be gone in like 3 minutes.
Right.
And the clouds opened up, and we got to beating the Raiders' ass.
And then our offense opened up. Funny moment, speaking of the game. Colin, the guy we brought from Canada, got chicken tenders. Even after we did our food review, he purchased food from the stadium, and I told him your safest bet is to get chicken tenders. It's very hard to mess that up. So he got chicken tenders, and he didn't finish it in the stadium. It made its way all the way back
to New York.
We even stopped at a barbecue place to eat dinner. It was still there. He did not touch it then. Went back to the house, made it through the night, didn't touch his chicken tenders left over from the concession stands in the Jaguars stadium. Took it on his plane in the morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He kept these chicken tenders for 24 hours.
And then made it to New York. Is that when he ate them?
He ate it in New York.
Disgusting.
Made it through a whole flight from Jackson, New York. And he's like, oh, I'm hungry. Let me eat my Jags leftover concessions food.
He needs to do a review on those. Let us know.
I thought the tenders looked good.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Sometimes,
they look good.
But Austin, who came with us too, he had the same thing. And then after the game, he said, "Yo, my stomach is in shambles." All that.
Oh, it definitely wasn't the 5 pulls of Casa at the tailgate. Not at all. Or that.
Does Casa mess up your stomach like that? Because it makes me feel alive.
No, I'm just mixing the tenders with Casa, and maybe it was the Dixie vodka. I don't know. Can we say that? You still under contract?
Sure. No contract. No contract. Just handshake.
Not the best seltzers if you're looking for some.
Mules and grapefruit wasn't bad, but
I like peach actually. Like is strong. I could tolerate it. Nice. We're back.
And so is Etienne, bitch. Trevor and Etienne are back from their Clemson days, boy. They're hitting their stride. They're looking like they played in college together because they did.
Literally this game, Trevor taking off and running looked like Clemson Trevor. Etienne, what I loved about this game is I don't know if it took just having one running back for Doug to do this, but we're running the ball even if we get stuffed. Like Etienne got stuffed in this game. I was like, where did this Raiders D-line come from? We haven't been able to move. We've been able to move the ball better every other game than we did this game. We got stuffed more times at the line than I've seen this season so far, but Doug kept running it, and Etienne piled up his yards, got receiving yards, rushing yards. It was great to see. We have an RB1.
We do.
He's top.
We have a workhorse.
He might be top 5 in rushing yards.
Etienne in the last 5 games, 114 yards, no touchdowns. 108 yards, no touchdowns. 119 yards, 1 touchdown. 162 yards, 1 touchdown. 126 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Goodness gracious.
And 3 straight games with 100 yards, right?
That's
5 straight. Well, this was total yards, but
total
you're
yards.
talking about rushing yards. I
Yeah.
believe that is correct. Yeah.
So we have a Derrick Henry in our backfield, and the AFC South is a running back gauntlet. And we're in.
Kind of is. Is Jonathan Taylor the worst one?
That is a fact right now. Yes, he is. But we still are very suspect on defense after that first half I saw. I can't credit our defense for the second half because I saw a lot of mistakes by the Raiders that if they fixed those, maybe this game wouldn't have gone in our favor like that. However, we also did drop several interceptions that we should have had. I don't if
Was it that Cisco one?
Did we
that hit
catch
him?
one?
The Cisco one was oh my God, the stadium would have erupted.
Yeah.
That was a pick six.
I'm glad he dropped it though, because I was going pee.
And then we had one in the fourth quarter where 2 of our guys had two hands on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
to
tip-
That would have
Devontae?
sealed the game. Yeah.
The tip drill. And they both dropped that shit. Jordan Poyer would have caught that bitch.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen him catch tip drill interceptions. But we got out of there, skin of our neck. But
People that don't listen to the podcast, right? What the fuck? John Boyer, random ass player.
random ass name. I don't even know if he leads in league in interceptions anymore. Been kind of quiet.
He was hurt last week. Didn't
Damn
play.
it.
Yeah, we should know that.
All these injuries.
We did. I said it. We did.
Another positive, though, they did not sack Trevor all game. Love that.
Yeah.
He's getting the ball out. He's running the ball.
Well, top 3 pass I've ever seen Trevor make was when we were backed up into our end zone, and Perryman, what's his first name?
For the Raiders, I don't know.
Perryman on the Raiders, clean path to Trevor. Trevor sidesteps him, and in doing so, he has to like step into, I think it was Cam or whoever the offensive lineman was blocking his guy. Trevor has to step into them, so he's like very awkwardly footed and throws a dime in the tightest window to Christian Kirk on the sideline for a first down. That was a top 3 throw that I've seen Trevor make. That was so beautiful. More Trevor Lawrence propaganda. This comes from Next Gen Stats. Trevor Lawrence earned a career-high 89 next-gen stat passing score in our victory over the Raiders. He generated a positive EPA, which stands for what, Jack?
Expected points added.
Whatever that means, on 74.2% of his dropbacks, the highest success rate in a game since Mahomes in Week 4 of 2021.
So for all you stats lovers out there, that sounds like it's good to me.
It is. Yeah.
Stat, that's good. Raiders have lost. Here's a stat. Raiders have lost games. I'm so sorry, Tyler. Raiders have lost games in which they were up 17-0 twice this season. In another game where they were up 20-0. That's tough. That is so tough.
That is. Especially when you rewind to the offseason, you acquired Devontae Adams.
Yeah, they were my.
You're
they were my
like,
team.
wow, this is what we needed to compete with Pat Mahomes and Kelsey in the AFC West. Now you fast forward to week 10, you're 2-6,
Oof.
and you're picking top 5 right now in the draft. This has got to be probably the most depressed Raiders fans have been in their miserable last 20 years, because Tyler never fails to remind us that they've been miserable for a long time. But I would be absolutely in shambles right now if my team got Devontae Adams and Chandler Jones, who was supposed to be a force on the defense, and you end up having one of the worst defenses. Your offense can't move the ball, even on the Jags. I can't imagine what it's being like being a fan in the NFL on the other side, playing the Jags and losing to them with how bad we are. But I'm sorry, Raiders fans.
Do you want more Trevor propaganda?
Yeah, bring it on.
Trevor has 3 games this season where he's completed 80% of his passes. That's the most in the NFL.
I never doubted my guy. Never doubted my guy. Even in the 5 straight losses, I was out here defending him. I was like, it's not his fault. We're getting better. He's looking good. He just has to fix these mistakes.
Yeah, I never doubted him either. Do you want some Jacksonville Jaguars propaganda?
I want all the
Yes.
propaganda you got.
So this is the point differential in the AFC South. Titans -9, Indy -51,
My God.
Houston -50, Jacks +21. Which kind of gives me a sour taste in my mouth because that we should be 6-3, not 3-6. We are also one of the healthier teams in the league. We're one of the top offenses statistically in the league. So the fact that we're underperforming this badly is upsetting. But
This is the perfect time to turn it around.
it is. And in years past, I wouldn't be able to see that happening. Now it's going to be hard. It might not start this week versus the Chiefs. But
if it does,
I can we have the pieces it takes. If Josh Allen can learn how to get off a block, we have the pieces it takes to get a winning streak going. I haven't given up hope on a lot of the players that we still have. It's not like I want to say it's not like I'm looking forward to the draft, but I was last week.
You were.
I'm trying to think of what this is like. I don't know what it's like. Stay tuned. Speaking of,
if Trevor continues to uphold these positive stats,
but he's not consistent. He'll probably have a trash game versus the Chiefs. So that's why
I don't know. The Chiefs defense not great.
It's not. I agree.
They're definitely.
I can see Travis having a day.
Sure.
Etienne.
Yeah, I can see that as well. But it's coming. I believe it's coming. The consistency's coming. I don't care who we're playing. I think Trevor's good. He just has to get out of his own head and start playing like he used to play in college and just be free with it. Look at Justin Fields. He's starting to come around too. And he was shit all season. And then we look at highlights from last game against the Dolphins and we're like, oh, shit, Justin Fields, he might be him. 61-yard rush touchdown and shit. Just give these guys time. Just give them time.
I think
NFL is not a fast league.
that point differential stat that you shared, I think that's a pretty important one. All their losses have been one-score games, right?
Yes.
That's a stat. That's a trend that changes a lot year to year. Losing one-score games, you'd think next year it could flip in the opposite. I mean, one-score games, one or two things don't go your way.
Yes.
Next year it could very well flip in the opposite, and it could be
6-3
turned around. Yeah, next year.
Yeah, and we know the
Calvin
things
Ridley.
and the things and like even
And Trevor improving. Like I could see it next year.
even in those losses, it was like one of them was 5 turnovers.
Right.
Like that doesn't happen often. One was we threw an interception at the fucking goal line against the Texans. The Giants game.
Right. 1 yard away from winning.
Yeah, exactly. And then
yeah.
It was.
and a lot of other things happened. And then the Broncos, he threw another interception in the red zone too. So just those little things, if he cleans that up and has games like he did yesterday,
Right.
then we're chilling. But the thing is, he hasn't been
Please, I
consistent
need
with
that. I need that so bad. I almost had a day on Prize Picks. Man, I made one entry on Sunday, and I like to make my entries around the Jaguars games because I tend to know the team more than I know other teams. So I did a Jaguars-Raiders game entry, and I picked 4 players, 4 player stats. $100 to win 1,000.
This was this your biggest one you've ever placed?
No, I've done 100 before, but I don't think I've ever saw 1,000.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Your biggest earnings potential.
Yes. So I did the Jaguars kicker, Riley Patterson, to make 2 field goals, and then the Raiders kicker, Daniel Carlson, to make 2 field goals. Travis Etienne to go over more than 104.5 rush plus receiving yards. That's automatic. Even though he got stuffed a lot by the Raiders, he still cleared it. And then Trevor to throw more than 240 passing yards. And that's where it all went wrong. Barely. So I hit the it was so dramatic. There were so many scenarios that my friends were giving me. Jack said, would I if hold on. What was it? Something about overtime. Oh, would I pick the Raiders to score because Trevor needed 6 yards and we were like in run only, 2-minute warning, run the clock down. It wasn't going to happen. But the Raiders got the ball again with a minute. And Jack said, would you, if you could guarantee that Trevor would get the 6 yards in OT, would you want the Raiders to score right here? And I said no.
Yeah, so that Jags win. You gotta have that Jags win at $1,000. That's essentially what you said. Yes,
I said that's worth $1,000 to me. The Jaguars winning.
Yeah.
I guess that's my price.
Right.
Hey,
dedicated fan.
There's no telling that
6 fucking yards. So by the way,
no telling you would have lost in OT though.
Right. Yeah. I said, would you guarantee that we win in OT? He said no. So I said, thanks.
Yeah, right. Yes.
So it came down to like Trevor's last drive when we're right before we kicked the game sealing field goal. Trevor needs 6 yards. Didn't get it. So I was 6 yards away from $1,000.
And it's crazy because we're watching this live, and every single play, which Doug hasn't done all season, is run. And when Andy needs 6 yards for $1,000,
oh my God,
Doug doesn't pass once.
I was like, just give me a screen to Etienne.
Nothing. He said, we're getting this win with Etienne on the ground.
I was reminded a couple times on Twitter that had Manhurts caught the opening pass of the game, I would have had $1,000.
I do remember that catch vividly.
Or drop.
Yes.
But
drop.
I believe in the butterfly effect, and there's no telling what would have transpired had he caught that ball. So that does not keep me up at night.
True. Field goals might have all been doinks.
Oh, we're going to open up. Do you have anything? Where you stay sat?
Nope.
Sorry. Looked like you were in stat mode.
It wasn't.
Yelling.
Not really. We were fortunate enough to get hit up on Instagram by this really talented, I don't know what to call him, creator, but he literally creates physical items as well as creates content for social media revolving around these physical items. This is cool packaging too.
Yeah.
Looks like he's like an at-home just creator. Like he makes these things at home. And he makes them from scratch. So this is a Devin Lloyd figurine. If you want to go through our DMs, he asked us what player we wanted. Could have taken the easy way out and said Trevor, but wanted to be different.
We got the game sealing.
Etienne would have been nice.
Right.
Game sealing.
But he wasn't a starter.
Yeah, he wasn't started
Sure.
yet. His name is Alex Parker, by the way. You can go to his Instagram. My friends call me AP is his Instagram. He said, my name is Alex. Came across your page on YouTube. Listen to your recap of the Eagles-Jags game. So this is weeks in the making. He's an Eagles fan, but he liked our content. So that's dope. We're reaching other fan bases. He said the reason he was contacting us is because he noticed our setup here. Thought we had he wanted to give us a great product to go along with our set and decor. And he creates vinyl. He calls them art toys. I don't know if that's one word or he meant to separate it, but it says art toys.
Art toys. Yeah, I think I'm reading here that this is actually a custom. Oh, this is not a toy. Think of it as a canvas to create a unique work of art made to be displayed and admired.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like a customizable thing. I see 2 helmets in there. Oh.
We're going to be playing dress up with
with Devin Lloyd.
with Devin Lloyd. So he said he'd be willing to create a Jaguars figure of our choice in exchange for a shout out.
That's cool.
He said it's pretty good size figure, 8.5 inches tall.
I
can relate. You feel me? He also has another page. It's TTH Collectibles. So he has the business page and then his main page, which is My Friends Call Me AP.
And I see we get a card off the bat. There, you open the box, and there's a card. It's a card of authenticity.
Yeah.
26 of 150.
Nice.
Whatever that means. A sticker. Cool. Put that on your laptop. Another sticker. Put that on my tablet. A pin. That's cool.
This must mean he's just getting started because
A
it
pin.
says this card certifies that you are the owner of one of the first 150.
Yeah, it's cool.
So
This is sick.
He's just getting started, and this was the 26th one that he's made, and apparently he's going to be making 150 of these. So that's dope. Then we got a little Devin Lloyd guy.
All right, let's take him out of the box. Dun, 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 dun. When's the Monday Night Football? Is it started?
Like 5 minutes.
New sticker for my laptop.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
What's it feel like? What's the material? What's it
This
smell
one-
like?
he's smelling it.
Smells like paint.
Nice.
Oh,
Smells pretty
that's one of
good.
my
Taste it.
that's one of my 5 odd smells that I'm
That
addicted
you
to.
like paint.
What are the other 4?
Gasoline.
Music. Fuck.
I can't remember them off the top of my head. I
funny,
just smell them and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, Sharpies.
Oh my
All
god.
these are very toxic.
I don't think I could say the next one.
Shit.
Yeah.
I don't think I can say the next one. Whose?
Not yours.
Please just say yours.
Yeah, mine.
Okay. No one else's though.
No,
Okay,
I
good.
can't stand other people's. Like
But you like-
I'm sick. Like if I know there's a nasty fart coming out of me, I wave it back.
Hold on. You went from I don't think I can say the next one to really going into full description.
Because you guessed it. So I'm like, I'm here. I'm out in the open.
I'm scared to like.
Oh my
Does it
God,
move
don't-
around?
Don't watch this, Johnny.
Oh yeah, we're still doing the Jags video. Anyway, appreciate you for making this sick,
Alex
Shout out
Porter.
Alex.
the sick toy
Parker, sorry.
for us. I'm gonna show Devin Lloyd, see what he says. Yeah, cool.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
See ya.
We will have a Chiefs Jags preview later
visor.
this week.
Oh, that's cool.
Customizable. Sweet. Okay, moving on.
Where do we put him?